Welcome into another episode of Wideside Sports, where there's a lack of sports to watch.
Yeah.
Except for the NBA.
You know what? I'm happy Chris Paul made it to the finals. I am. I like Chris Paul.
I'm really upset that it's motorcycle season.
Yeah.
And one just drove by really fucking loudly right in the middle of your sentence.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I mean, I always liked Chris Paul. I always thought it was cool if that trade would have went through where he could have went to LA.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, if all this shit that the NBA can veto, you vetoed that one.
Yeah.
You know, all this stuff that's been going down,
Yeah.
like you couldn't give Kobe a point guard. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus.
Kobe couldn't have Chris Paul, but Kyrie and Durant can have Harden. Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Wait, what are we doing here?
Exactly. That shit is like, you can't give Kobe a point guard. I mean, because he won it with fucking Derek Fisher. Imagine if he had a good point guard.
Yeah.
I mean, how just,
Wow.
fantastic.
Just
Come
shit
on.
all over Derek Fisher.
Come on.
He's okay.
He's okay. Not Chris Paul.
No, he was serviceable. He's, he dribbles okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pass
can
it to
score
Kobe
sometimes.
and just let him
a
do his
weird
thing.
looking shot.
Yeah. He's got a weird looking, like, body.
Life.
I mean, I don't know about his life.
I don't know about his life
Is he
either.
still coaching the WNBA?
I don't know.
I knew
Does that still exist?
Yes, it does. Yeah, they have a couple
Last I heard,
fans.
they were asking for equal pay, but I don't know.
I think they still are.
Probably not going to happen.
Probably not. Probably not.
I heard a big argument about that last time when I think Draymond Green was trying to say the right thing, but he just said it wrong. And everybody started shitting all over him.
Yeah.
Of like, you have to, he was basically trying to say of like, people have to watch your product. So you have to do whatever you got to do to watch your product. People don't watch. They don't sell TV contracts. You don't have a TV contract, you can't sell advertising.
Yeah.
That's how we get paid.
Yeah.
That's what he was trying to say.
And then it was just...
But it was just like hey, you need to try harder.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's like, oh, nobody watches you, so you won't get paid equally. That's pretty much
the answer.
Bottom line there.
Eyeballs equal dollars.
Yeah. They have a couple girls dunking. I see some clips, which that's cool to me. I mean, I always thought it was weird that I don't know what's in the guys and girls where they don't jump very high unless you're like some big like athletic Olympic, high jumper.
High jumper.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Though it's like I don't jump very high, but I can probably out jump my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a 200-pound difference between the two.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, that was always one too. It's always weird to think of. I'd watch. It's kind of on YouTube, just watching things, and then up doing something. It just on the TV. It just flips to another suggested clip.
Yeah.
And it happens to be like the women's Olympic gymnastic team.
Gotcha.
And they were talking about. Now, I mean, this is from years ago. So somebody. Like her gold medal routine that she won the gold medal at the Olympics.
Simone
with.
Biles or
no, it was like
a while
one
ago.
before that.
Gotcha. Nastia Lukin.
I think it was.
Nice. I just like the
and
name.
they were at the training facility, and the men's team was there training, and there was like the guys that like really can't make the team, like they're borderline.
Yeah.
And she said it's just ridiculous. I spent years for that routine.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy went in there and kind of just watched me do it. And then he just jumped up and did it better than me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I like, you don't think about that difference, but apparently there is. Because she talked about like working on that for years, and that guy worked on it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And she said he just, like it was nothing. I mean.
That's crazy.
I think it's because of the flips and stuff like that. Like, he just more powerful, so he just flipped easier. So.
Yeah. I always think it's cool. I always think it's cool the gymnastic stuff with the women is cool because it's like if you're not 5'5" and compact, like you're not very good at it. It's always weird to me. Like if you're over like 5'7" as a woman, like you're not good at gym. Like why though? Like you would figure like for even the platform stuff, be a little taller, you probably flip a little easier because you can get more momentum going. You know what I mean?
I always wondered that, like the ones that move through to the Olympics and stuff like that, of like because they're all in that, that size range.
Yeah.
I always wondered that, like with all the flipping, because they start when they're 4 years old, jumping around and doing flips and stuff. Of like, does that stunt their growth some?
Yeah.
I mean, because they've been flipping for 15 years.
Yeah.
And just beating the shit out of their body.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I mean. I somebody made the comment one time. I was like, oh, they always go through different gymnastics. Is like they always retire early. I was like, well, one, the Olympics are one every 4 years.
Yeah,
you get older, and two, it's gotta suck to just land like that all the time. Like when they do like the uneven bars and stuff like that. Like if you flip off the high bar and land, like that's gotta fucking hurt. If you just keep practicing that. The jolt on your body's gotta sting a little bit.
And that's one thing that like you don't see or hear about of and you do from other sports.
Yeah.
You know, as they get, 40s, 50s, about the toll their sport took on their body.
Yeah.
You ever hear the gymnasts come out and talk about like, yeah, my knee's fucked up. I can barely walk. I'm 50 years old. I mean, you don't hear that. No, but it's got to be that way. It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I don't know what it is, but that beach volleyball tandem that for America that always seems
like 20 fucking years.
Yeah. It's like, gee, well, that seems harder than. Like, have you guys ever ran in sand? Like, that's just difficult.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard. I mean, people use that as a hard workout sometimes, and these two chicks are just playing in it for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're having a good
dominating.
time. And just destroying people.
I mean, the one's so tall.
Yeah.
That it feels like she blocks everybody.
I feel like you can't get a jump in sand, though.
Yeah. I don't know what that sand's like,
Yeah, it could be different.
Prep it. It might be a little stiffer. I don't know.
Wet it down the night before or something.
I'm sure they do, so it doesn't blow away. As they probably want a little moisture in there, so the crowd that they have in eating the fucking sand. That would be my guess. I mean, hell, like you go watch a baseball game, they don't show it on TV, but
they
during
water
the
down
game,
the field,
they're going down to water the dirt down just to keep
Yeah, it is. It is interesting. When I was a kid, I used to hate the Olympics. I was just like, well, just amateurs, but as you get older, you're like, man, this is pretty fucking cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's something, I mean, we're not talking about the Winter Olympics because nobody cares.
I don't know what those are.
But, I mean, it's something everybody gets behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some
of the shit, like I could never sit down and watch a whole one of those matches, but like the water polo, like I struggle treading water for minutes, and these guys are in the pool for like an hour and a half. And then they're throwing a ball. Like I just want to be like, is there a shallow end? Can we play in the 4-foot end?
Why can't it be like a pool at my buddy's house where we it's a sport pool that you kind of stand up in at the ends? And
that'd be cool.
The one that gets me too is the synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
Like you see above, they're doing all that stuff and it's crazy. And then they show the cameras under the surface. You see, just getting after it.
You gotta be tired as shit.
Which I don't think, I guess, how hard do you have to flap your legs to get half your body out of the water?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
I don't know if flap's the right term. Kick I think is probably what they say.
Be the best. Or like I always thought it was weird, like the high dive. Like the people like diving and like doing tricks out of the diving. It's just, how do you get your body around without having like a back smacker? You know what I mean? It's
and
like
go in and barely disrupt the water.
Yeah, it's like, it just went in. And I was like, I know, I did like the toothpick drop into a pool one time and still created just a massive splash.
So, and then you just remember from the last Olympics, like, hey, the water's green.
Yeah.
But feels like you have an algae problem here.
But it's just like the base of the pool, wasn't it?
Nope. No, they had an algae problem because they had to shut it down one day and like throw a bunch of chemicals in it. Like, I mean, I feel like you should be able to take care of a swimming pool. Like, it's pretty.
Yeah. I think it's indoors too. So
100%.
Yeah, you should probably. That seems pretty easy. Some chlorine and some algae killer.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean,
not that hard.
I feel like you should be able to take care of that.
Yeah. Especially the Olympics.
It's a weird thing too of like, but then you get some sports that are extremely popular that just aren't in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like tennis and golf being in there of like, seems like nobody gives a shit about winning the tennis gold medal. Like, what, did you win Wimbledon? No? Then who gives a shit? I mean, it's the same way with golf. It's like when golf was in Rio, it was like Ricky Fowler and whoever was the American.
Jason Day and somebody else. No, he wouldn't have been one.
He's from Australia. He was probably in it for Australia.
Yeah, maybe. I remember seeing his name. That's the only reason I said that.
But it was like the American team of like Ricky Fowler. I understand Ricky Fowler's very popular. He's also not great at golf.
No, he's not.
Because he doesn't ever win.
Nope.
Like he makes more money at being not good at his job.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's
but it's
weird.
like the amount of people that said no.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to play in that.
I'm not going to play in that.
What's the first time it's ever in the Olympics? Like,
you don't want to do
Tiger's
it?
like, I feel hurt.
Yeah.
Which he might have been hurt
Yeah.
at the time.
But like you'd have figured like,
but it's like,
Spieth, DJ, those guys, you figured would have just hopped on Koepka. I mean, no, we're good. Means nothing.
Yeah. And I don't even remember who won.
No, I don't either.
Couldn't tell you.
Nope.
But it's just,
it's
nobody
just weird.
cares.
Now they don't ever show it a lot, but like the Taekwondo and like the weightlifting stuff, I always thought that was cool. Like 850-pound people are fucking snatch and cleaning like 300 pounds. It's like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. How's that?
How did you do that without testing for steroids?
How did you not explode?
Yeah. Especially like when they have the snatch and then they flip it all the way up and it's like, you look like you're going to pop right now.
Yeah.
Your face is as red as the sun and you're going to die.
And it's always those, like the deadlift ones, like, I feel like you're straining very hard and your nose is bleeding.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't be doing that because that's got to be something. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be something. The one that I loved was, I think with this upcoming Olympics or whatever, they're talking about the social distancing and stuff like that. The athletes at Olympic Village are going to have to do. But they're also making sure that there's like 40,000 condoms there because apparently it's just a fuck fest
that's
at
what
Olympic
I heard.
Village.
That's what I heard. That's like
crazy 40,000 condoms.
That's a lot of condoms.
A lot of banging.
What if you don't use one? I mean, you have to use one.
You have to take one.
I think they're complimentary as you go into your room. Like, instead of chocolates on your pillow, there's
I think that's kind of how it is.
Really? That's
like,
cool.
It's just like, wait, just grab what you need.
Yeah.
Like,
grab
there's
what
just
you
like,
need. Handfuls as you go in.
all I can think about is like being at a baseball game with the guy, cold beer here.
Yeah.
There's somebody walking through with a tray going, condoms here. Get your condoms. Ultra thin. Rib for her pleasure. Condoms here.
That'd be cool. What do you do at the Olympics? I'm the condom vendor.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I mean, just walking around, just group of people just slinging them in there like they're like beads at them.
Yeah, I did hear the condom thing. That's crazy. Crazy.
That's why I wonder, because like the NBA players are never at Olympic, but they have their own yacht or whatever. It's like, I wonder if any of them are just venturing down there to say, I heard this is a good time down here.
There's condoms
Where are them
everywhere.
swimmers at?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. I never really got into the swimming unless it was Michael Phelps. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's I understand because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
In that I watched that Katie Ledecky too.
Yeah.
And she does distance stuff, which is just weird. But like, she lapped the field. Oh, I mean, she won by minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm just one of those of like, that's greatness. So I'm going to watch that.
I mean, I
so
get
it's
it,
kind of the.
But it's like, to me, I think the relays are cooler. One, they keep my attention a little bit better.
Yeah, because it's,
Yeah, it's happened. And then like the next guy dives. And the spin at the end and the flip.
Yeah.
I've tried to do that in a pool before. Can't get it done. I don't know how to do it.
I think they work on it for a while.
Yeah, they probably do. And they're not as heavy as me, so it probably helps.
I was going to say, though, I know you said like the Taekwondo and stuff of I struggle with that anymore because the UFC exists.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
Well, this is boring.
I wish it was more of
He's
like
not allowed to kick him in the face.
That's what I don't like. That's the dumbest thing. We're just going to kick each other in the body.
Yeah.
It's not real.
No.
It's not real at all. I can't punch you in the face. Imagine they had UFC at the Olympics.
Yeah, because to be honest, kicking isn't that big of a deal.
No.
That's why kickboxing
is boring.
They throw punches.
Yeah.
Because
that
now there's rules to that of like.
Well, you can't kick below the waist either. I don't think you can give him a leg shot.
Yeah, that's
a big
obviously
deal. That's
a big deal.
Big fucking deal.
If I kick you 4 times down there and you can't use that leg anymore,
I win.
I'm now going to beat your ass.
Exactly.
That's when I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know why I was thinking about it, but it ties right into this of like, they have all these offshoots. Kickboxing could be awesome, but it's just not. Just because, all the rules of like, why can't you just, if people are like this, all the rules for MMA exist, except, hey, if it goes to the ground, we're going to pick you back up.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Basically, you're taking jujitsu out of it. Well, you still have a submission.
Yeah.
If it's standing up.
Standing up.
But if you take somebody down, as soon as you get to the ground, we're going to put you back up.
Yeah.
Kick them in the leg, elbow them in the face. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want.
So much cooler. I mean, that's the way it should be, and I think everybody would be like, this is way better.
No, I mean, I would watch that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still like the UFC too because I mean, wrestling, jiu-jitsu kind of
that's cool.
part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because, striking's different if there's a chance that guy's going to tackle you.
Yeah.
But with all these people, bare knuckle boxing, it's like, why? Just do, if you want it to be that, just have, you can kick, you can elbow, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes to the ground, we're going to stand you up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people don't see that.
Mm-hmm. I got DQ'd in the Junior Olympics one year.
Yeah.
Yep. Back fist to the face, knocked the kid out. You can't do that.
Spinning back fist?
I didn't mean to.
Was it a spinning?
It was a spinning back. I was going up for a wheel kick, and he got too close.
Oh, so you punched him?
Yep. Yeah.
So you're going to kick him in the face?
Yeah, going to kick. I would have got DQ'd for that, too, but it would have been way cooler.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he got too close.
If they DQ'd you with a spinning back fist, spinning around and hitting him in the face with the heel of your foot is 100% worse. Going to get you
We
kicked.
had helmets on. But it's they told us in the rules, if you kick him in the head, it's only a point deduction. Yeah. So I mean, but if you can't even come close to punching in the face. Like you can punch him in the chest protector, but you can't punch. I mean, so instantly, anytime you strike in the face with your fist, it's
so
like
basically,
automatic.
it's like, hey, we're doing this sport combat sport.
Yeah.
That you don't have to protect your head.
Pretty much. Yeah. Which is weird.
Unless fighting you.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
didn't you also wheel kick a kid to the head and get DQ'd out of something?
Yeah. That was a different time.
That was
just
such a devastating kick. The fact that
but it was my go-to. Like I practiced that a lot. Because
it's the most awesome kick in the world.
Yeah, it was cool as shit.
You want me to give you a front kick to the sternum? That looks like bullshit. It just looks like he literally just pushing you away.
Yeah. This one kid, we were in the one tournament, and it was a points tournament. So it was literally like you touch the circle on your chest and point.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to be good at. You just have to be fast. Yeah. So he just would do that. He would reach his foot out and do like the little front kick. Oh, the one time I caught him, I caught the foot and I slapped it down and I came in with like a back kick and I fucking got him right in the middle of his chest and it almost was like one of like a movie. Like he went backwards and fell on his ass and then he didn't.
Oh, like a spinning back kick.
Yeah, but like straight back to his chest.
That knocked the wind out of you.
Oh yeah, he like went backwards and he had to like call a timeout and then he never tried the front kick anymore. So it worked.
Yeah.
I think I still lost. I think he had more touches on me, which I always hated those.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Hey, are we beating each other's ass or not?
Exactly.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing?
What are we learning this for?
Mm-hmm.
That was always the weird thing, too, of like the more of the karate guys and stuff that spent years of learning that and thinking that they're like,
badasses.
I'm a weapon.
Uh-huh.
And then the UFC comes out and goes, oh, this means nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can go out. I mean, Wonder Boy is like the only one that has a karate thing, but he also does other shit.
Yeah.
He just happens to carry that karate stance.
Yeah.
He's also long and lanky, so it works.
It works. Yeah.
A couple other guys try it, and then they just kick the fuck out of that front leg, and
done.
Day's over.
Yeah. It was just weird. Especially like those, I don't know, I always thought it was always cool to, fight like on the big stage and stuff like that. But it was like, the way that like I trained, it was trained to, put your opponent down. You know what I mean? Like but then you go to tournaments and it's like, you can't kick them in the head. You can't punch them. It was like, well, we were taught to use our hands. Like that was a big part of it. That's
kind of part of fighting.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, you can't use any of that. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
And that's always my favorite thing too, is like a lot of those when they're billed as self-defense, but they won't teach you anything of like, well, you can do this kick and you can do this kick, but don't use your hands.
Yeah.
Like, well, I feel like
it's not
if I'm only kicking, what if he just rushes in and gets in here quick? What am I supposed to do then?
Yeah. I can't use my hands.
You stay at an arm's length away. We have to agree.
I had to kick you.
Because I remember when I was in high school, there was a fight out in a field. Obviously, the fight was booked at school.
Yeah.
Then after school in a field. It was actually with one of your father's students.
Oh, okay. Probably
Who
got his
might
ass
know?
whooped.
Oh my God! Did he get his ass?
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was a tough kid, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy he was fighting was kind of a bitch. He got his ass beat in the lunchroom one time.
Yeah.
And then after getting his ass beat, he stands up crying and goes, "I'm gonna kill him," like that. I'm like, dude, like.
Those are my favorites.
You were talking a bunch of shit, just got punched a bunch of times, and ended up laying your head down on the table and crying, and then jumped up and go, "I'm gonna kill him." Like, well, that was your chance. But they go out there, and obviously I'm, front and center. Let's see this thing happen.
Yeah.
And he kind of hops into a stance.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no,
he's done.
School fights and your fighting that you're used to are not the same thing.
Nope.
He's going to get you down and beat your ass.
Pretty much.
That was always a weird thing, too, in school of like, there was that one. And then there was another fight that was booked in school. And it's weird to say it that way, but it was billed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like multiple days. It wasn't like, hey, after school, I'm going to beat your ass over here. No, it's like,
next week.
Hey, I got something going on, but like 3 days from now, we're meeting over there and we're beating each other's ass. It might have been the longest fight I've ever seen in my life.
It's funny.
I think the one kid had rolls of quarters in his hands.
Oh, nice.
Good little. And I mean, they beat the shit out of each other. And when I say, like longest fight, like for a school fight, like if it was 3 minutes, that'd be a long time.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're talking like fucking 10 minutes.
Jesus. Was there a break?
No, they just like headlock and punch in the face. I mean, just fucking blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the secretary from the school happened to drive by. It's across the street, behind the house. Just drive by and see something and then start yelling and crying. Then they take the two in the fight and drug them back over to the school and suspended them. It's like, well, this is after school and it's not even.
I learned that this year.
You talked about it on the school property, so.
I learned that this year. I had no idea that if you can, as a school, if two people in your school fight off of school grounds and it gets reported to the school, they can be suspended.
That's just weird.
It's super weird.
It's where it should be taken care of.
Yeah, not in the school.
Get them ready for life.
Yeah.
When they go to a bar and they say, hey, take that shit outside.
Yeah.
Off our property.
We don't want that shit.
Go over there. But it was, now granted, obviously we went to a small school, but it was like you would have seen in a movie. Like a circle of kids. I mean, it was like the whole school, felt like the whole school was there. Like, Jesus.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Then, it gets on that 8-9 minute mark. It's like, I feel like somebody should stop,
This is getting.
Should jump in and maybe just stop this.
Stop it. It's a draw.
Which goes to tell you of like, what kind of friends did those two guys have that knows, hey, okay, okay, guys, we're done. Because that's the job of your buddy. Everybody gets a couple licks in,
and we're done.
Then the buddies of both people, they pull each other off. It's kind of, don't pull them off like jerk them off, but get them off each other.
Yeah, get them off.
Yeah, just get them off.
Get them off.
Of like, it's over. I mean, that's kind of how fights are supposed to happen. No, this was like a UFC fight, except there was no.
Round
it was like
one?
the original one. It was just like, it's 1 30-minute round. Go.
Have fun.
It's over when it's over.
Yeah, man. School fights. They're always horrible.
I seen some of my favorite ones. Two girls I went to school with got in a fight in the hallway. Wasn't any punches thrown. There was like a slap. And then the other girl, remember, like in big time wrestling, where they do like that, what they call that snapmare, where they grab them by the head and they just kind of flip them over on the back. She did that by the other girl's hair. I mean, grabbed her, kind of, shot her hips through, and this girl did a flip right onto the, the tile, concrete, whatever you want to call it. It was kind of like, thwack.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh, shit.
Right in front of the principal's office.
Yeah.
Like literally, he came out, took 2 steps, and was there.
That's funny. A friend of mine who actually listens to this podcast, he this was before I was in school. He's a couple years older than me. He goes, I think I was like a freshman or something like that, and a girl who was older than him, she was kind of, you didn't fuck with her.
Yeah.
She was kind of a badass for the area. and some other chick walked up to her, threw a punch, and she goes, she caught the punch and said, I can't go to jail, and threw her hand down and walked away.
That is such a huge move.
It was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's a movie.
I was like, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, he goes, she caught the punch in midair, said, I can't go to jail, and threw her hand down and walked away.
I want to talk to the girl that threw the punch of like, what's your immediate thought of what just happened here?
Shit.
Like you thought you were I'm going to hit this.
Yeah.
That was, you throw that's everything you got.
Yeah.
It's to just have it caught.
She caught it. Yeah. But the funny thing is, like, she must have thought that she was going to land this because he was like, she didn't come up with like a combo. Like, she just stopped. I was like, I know my mom has tried to smack me in the face a couple times for being mouthy, and I've caught her hand, and she's hit me in the gut with the other hand. So, I mean, there's a follow-up to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, she didn't even try. She was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's kind of when I'm like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she let me get away with it.
Yeah. I can't go to jail, and threw her hand down and walked
trying
away.
to think of like, but we didn't have a shit ton of fights at school. Mainly because we're just not a big school.
Everybody kind of knew each other. It was like,
yeah,
why fight your friend?
But
yeah,
now there's always, in my time, the rival school or whatever. Obviously, there's a lot of shit going down, but
yeah,
not a shit ton of fights.
No.
I mean, they talk a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Somebody bangs somebody's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's pretty much the most of it.
I mean, that's, the one guy was at he's either he was banging, I don't remember which way it went. He was banging the guy's girlfriend, or that guy was banging his girlfriend, but she, one of those of, I'm leaving him, I'm going with, one of those things. So the kid I know is playing golf, and this guy finds out that he's at this golf course. And he shows up, and he's just like twirling hay hooks.
Jesus.
Like, the fuck are you going to do here? I mean, this is high school. Cool. It's a fucking girl that nobody cares about. You're not even going to know each other in 10 years.
Hay hooks.
Hay hooks. Like, are you going to impale him and hang him on something? What are we doing?
Hell?
Now, nothing ever happened. Yeah. I mean, they didn't, no punches were thrown, but it's like, I feel like what were your intentions here?
He couldn't have thought, I'm going to go get those hay hooks out of the barn.
No,
I was assuming they were here
baling hay.
Yeah, and it's
like, hey, he's over there?
Yeah.
Well, it's lunchtime. Let's go,
Yeah, that's funny. No, I can't. I had a very good friend in our little friend group who was very notorious for banging everybody's girlfriend.
Yeah.
From other schools. Very, very
you
notorious.
Say it's you. It's
no,
fine.
it was not me. It was always funny because he went to a different school.
Yeah.
Than us, but he would always text us in the big group chat saying, "Hey, we gotta have a guys' night." Okay. And then there was always a story. Like it was so funny. It's like he's like, we gotta have everybody together so I can tell everybody at once of what happened. Every time. It was just crazy. Crazy the amount. I was like, do you not care that he's like, nah, he's like, they're never gonna do anything. I'm like, you're right, but what
you're right.
You're right, but what's the off chance?
It's a weird thing. I wonder how that with all the weird shit that goes down now.
And he would have gotten his ass beat by
it's always that way.
Everybody. I mean,
I feel like if you're in high school now, can you go around banging everybody's chick from other schools?
I don't know.
I feel like things have gotten like
COVID.
It seems like everybody's got a knife or something nowadays.
Yeah,
I mean, feels like the escalation of violence goes. Nobody's getting punched in the face anymore.
Did you have plastic lunch trays, or did you have foam or styrofoam?
No, they're that composite plastic.
Yeah, we had when they built the new school. Like the first couple of years, they had plastic lunch trays.
Yeah.
And, on your study halls, you went and washed trays. You know what I mean? It was just like you had a job, the school paid you like $2 an hour or something like that. So I was one of them. It was easy, go in there and wash some trays. Well, I happened to be washing trays during the high school lunch. Yeah. And I'm like a 6th or 7th grader or something like that. The guy walks up, the one guy's sitting down eating his lunch. The other guy walks up like fucking prison and hits him right in the back of the head with this plastic lunch tray. The guy gets hit in the back of the head, gets up really fast. He chases him out of the school to the guy's truck who hit him. The guy who hit him hops in his truck. The guy who got hit is chasing him, gets to the door of the truck, and the truck won't start.
Oh.
So the guy rolls down the window, throws a wrench at his face, and the truck starts, and he drives away. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's one of those things too of like, and your thought process is, I'm gonna knock this guy out.
Get a fucking
with a plastic tray to the back of the head. You're never gonna knock him out with that one unless you take it the other way and hit him with a corner. But two, minimum, you got to hit him in the face and water his eyes a little bit if you plan on getting something else off. I mean,
yeah, but after that, we didn't have plastic trays anymore. Yep, did not have
there's always somebody that ruins it for everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
Like, I remember it was, I can't remember what grade it was, but it was my class was the reason that grade no longer had recess.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I want to say, I don't know when recess ended. I think it's 6th grade or 7th grade. I don't recall.
I didn't have recess in 6th grade, so maybe.
There it was.
Yeah.
That was us. Yeah, it was like midway through, like just shit going down every recess.
Yeah.
And like midway through the year, it's like recess is over.
Tired of this shit.
Like, we're not doing it anymore. So, yeah. So you not.
Yeah.
So all your buddies that maybe listen to this that wanted recess still in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Our class is the reason there is no longer recess in the 6th grade.
My class and the class after me is the reason that there's no longer a sophomore trip to Washington, D.C.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Just, I assume because you hired some bums to buy liquor?
No, sex. Yeah.
What, did they think that wasn't going to happen down there?
I don't know. One kid got caught.
Well, you know what? Because honestly, leading up to that, there wasn't a lot of females in the whole school.
Yeah.
When everybody else was going on that trip.
One kid in my class got caught getting a BJ in the stairwell. Cameras of the hotel caught them. Called the school. And then there's the class after us is the actual, lots of intercourse.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the bus, like there, and then at the hotels, and yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's no longer a sophomore trip.
Ours was I know wasn't me, but somebody had hired, you stop at wherever you're supposed to eat or whatever. It's like the train station or whatever.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't take us to see a fucking train station. Well, you're on your own eating today.
Yeah.
It's like, so the McDonald's or this one.
Yeah.
But, a couple of guys found a bum, got him by, like a fifth of Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the chaperone's like, they know there's a liquor store there. They've been going on this trip for 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So, everybody loads back on the bus, go to the next, it's not like we're going right back to the hotel, go to the next stop. Immediately found the liquor. And then obviously, you run into teachers and then know them later in life. They're like, oh, yeah, we got hammered that night.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so you took it from everybody and then you guys went back in the room and drank it.
Pretty much.
So.
We were in D.C. my sophomore year from like Saturday morning till like Wednesday. We left. It was like a 5-day trip or whatever. The Saturday night, the first night we're there, we're supposed to eat in this big, like, fancy seafood restaurant, and it's Ohio State and Wisconsin. Russell Wilson's senior year, where Braxton Miller throws like the Hail Mary and wins it.
Yeah,
that game. Both of the guy chaperones, there was 2 guy chaperones and 2 girl chaperones. Both of the guy chaperones are like huge Buckeye fans. So we're halfway through dinner, and it's like they kick off at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock maybe. It's like 7:15. We haven't got our food yet. We get our food at 7:30, so let's say kickoff's at 8. He goes, all right. 10 minutes later, he's like, okay, all right, we're all heading out. We're all leaving. Like, half of us are like, we're not even done eating yet. He's like, we'll order pizza later. Everybody get on the bus. We're heading back to the hotel. Just left. I don't know. Like, he must have paid with the school. You know what I mean? Like, because it was all prepaid stuff. We didn't have to, use any of our money or anything like that. But it's like, yeah, whatever we prepaid for, we didn't eat.
Nice. I think that was the DC thing, though. I mean, that's a shame that they don't go there.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And I understand, like, one of the other guys, like, they take trips to New York now or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Well, you're not allowed to go to D.C., but New York's okay. I don't.
Yeah.
What's
they're
the fucking
seniors,
difference?
so it's okay if they
what's the
they're
difference?
leaving.
But DC's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And because I kind of like history of like, that's really cool.
Oh,
I mean, there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, I always told people, like, it would have been way better if I didn't have, like, chaperone with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I could have seen things, like, I wanted to stay longer at some
where
places.
you don't have the time.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to be here. This place is dumb. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, the one it's weird of like when you start making, it's like, boy, it seems a lot of these historical sites are just where people died. Here's Ford's Theater. That's where Lincoln got shot.
Yeah. We went, they took us on this, well, it was October when we went. It was like a week before Halloween. So they took us to this old, like, this whole town is based on, like, they fucking, I don't know if they're paid to dress like this or what, but it's like the fucking 1600s. Like, they're all in, like, the bonnets and long dresses and shit. And they're supposed to take you on this big, like, haunted tour through this old town or whatever. And it's all just fucking fake. So, of course, I had to start making jokes and stuff like that. And the other chaperone's with me. He starts making jokes. About halfway through the tour, we're in this like cemetery, and she starts like going on like, "Oh, this is a very historical cemetery." And I start like looking around and stuff. I'm like, "Are we in somebody's backyard?" And she was like, "No, we gotta be quiet. You can start to hear like voices and stuff, all the spirits." I'm like, "No, we're hearing them. I can see it through their window. They're fucking watching TV right now. We're in somebody's backyard." And she's like, No, we're not. And I'm like, "Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are." She goes, "Sir, if you won't be quiet, you're going to have to go back to the bus." And I went, "Okay, I'll go back to the bus." So the chaperone took me back to the bus. We were in somebody's backyard. Like, for one, don't live in your backyard's a cemetery. That sucks. Two, like, she's like, "You got to whisper." I'm like, "We're whispering because we're going to disrupt them. They're in their own home. Why are we in their backyard?"
Just popped in my head. I have a callback to the longest fight ever from high school.
Yeah.
The first scuffle that happened in school like days before, and it was like a, tackled in the hallway kind of thing. Your buddy that listens to his show, his father's the one that broke it up in the school.
Oh, nice.
Because that was like his first or second year teaching or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember that because obviously it was you went to a new school. I went to the older school. I can remember being there and where his classroom was and where it happened and him sprint, like kind of that. You know him and you know his voice of that, "Hey!"
Yeah.
And then, sprinting down the hallway.
That's funny.
Which is always, that was a weird thing in that time frame because, like, when he started teaching, like, obviously I grew up with his brother and all of us did. And then he starts teaching at the school of, like, "Oh, this is weird because my whole childhood, you've been slapping the shit out of one of my best buddies here.
Yeah.
And now you're in charge." But,
that was always a weird thing in school. Like, you're best friends with the principal's son.
Yeah.
It's like, it was always super weird. And then one of our other good buddies, his mom was like the history teacher. So it was like, we would always make jokes like, "Oh, we stayed all night with the history teacher," and stuff like that, Yeah.
Small schools, though.
But we always would tell people whenever, like, people from other schools would come around that, his mom was banging the principal and stuff like that.
I imagine he's sitting at his desk right now going, "Hey, what the fuck are you guys talking about this for?" That's the weird thing I'm talking about. And I don't even really know him that well. Like, I know enough to say hi and maybe talk for a minute or two, but I know his dad, but I know his uncle. Obviously, I grew up with his uncle, and
yeah. Fun stuff.
You gotta love small communities. But that goes back on the fight of one of the other weird ones I seen was at the outdoor basketball court when I was a kid. There used to be a bunch of games down there, and now I think they've taken the basketball rims down because nobody used them. Or it's just, bad shit going on there at this point in time. When I was a kid, it was very, there was, you couldn't get onto the court almost. There was always games going on.
Yeah.
And we didn't live very far away, and I don't remember how old, and I think it was me and my brother was down there. And it was like the old school that got torn down was right there. And like this van pulled up. It was like one of those older, van. When a van was a van.
Yeah, like the big shaggin' wagons.
White with like the, almost like the Winnebago decals going down the side.
Yeah.
It was this guy that was from around town or whatever, obviously very older than us, like maybe in high school. I think, me and my brother were younger. But then like this other guy, like he pulls over to like talk to this other, like maybe thinking they're going to talk. But the other guy goes up to the van, and it has like the rear view mirrors are like the ones that are like on the steel rods or whatever. And it's got like a running board down the whole length of it. The kid jumps up onto the running board, holding onto the mirror. And I mean, the guy starts driving off, and this guy's just throwing haymakers and just beating the shit out of this guy. And he's pulling out of the parking lot area or whatever, getting down the road. And then the guy kind of jumps off and then comes walking back. I'm like,
what the hell just happened?
Well, this just happened. And it's on 4 o'clock on a Saturday. I mean, it was like.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh, my God.
Those are good times back then.
It's just funny.
You'd be in prison for doing shit like that now.
It's just funny, the shit that you see in, the small towns. Like, the weird rivalries, you may hate your neighbor that's 4 houses down. It's just weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really weird.
I watched one, me and my best friend growing up. It was, I want to say 8-10 years old or whatever. And then, back in those, it was just, he lived on the opposite side of town and he had to walk down, and there was always the house of, hey, don't be around that. Like, that guy's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's always a crazy person in town.
Uh-huh.
No big deal. But we're walking. This guy comes out of the house and he's got one of the, in your front yard, you have the fire sign that has your address on it. This guy walks out of the house and runs over and flat drop kicks that fire sign. And me and my buddy are looking it's kind of like you see it.
You just don't want to say anything.
But then you just look for and just keep moving on
walking.
Like you didn't see
Don't
it.
act like you saw it. Just keep walking away. Yeah.
But that was just, probably go on for a long time talking about the weird shit that you see in small towns.
Fucking A.
And everybody that that's listening to this is going, oh, man, that's one time.
One time everybody's got some cool shit stories.
Well, I had a lot of shit stories from playing baseball and stuff where we'd get into shit because we didn't always have enough buses, so you'd have to drive to games.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. When I was on the golf team, there was no bus for the golf team.
Oh, yeah, you
the
just
coach drove.
Yeah.
And then one of the other players that had a big enough vehicle drove.
Mm-hmm.
And then the school reimbursed you for your gas of that never fly. And nowadays, you're going to put 3 other students in your vehicle to drive to a school function. That ain't happening.
No.
But that's how it happened. But
hell, it was like that when I was in school,
shooting
too.
bottle rockets out of vehicles and stuff like that on a school trip.
Mm-hmm. It was like the golf team up until maybe 5 years ago. When I was in school, they didn't have, you just drove.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, it's hey, there's a huge bus. There's 6 people on it.
Yeah.
Driving an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we got off. I think we started by talking about basketball and then moved into the Olympics and then started with fighting and just here's what happened in our small ass school.
I hope people enjoy it.
I just kind of wonder if any of that
story
going on anymore. You have to ask your buddy if his dad
broke up any fights.
Being older, obviously now, and you obviously are very close with them. Of I like hearing those stories of hey, you can talk to me not as a principal. It's just a weird shit that you've seen this year.
Oh yeah,
that's a buddy of mine. His brother's a lawyer, and that's always they ask of him of hey, what's a weird story that happened? And it's always a fucking prison because he's I know he's argued in front of the Supreme Court, taking a case up.
Yeah.
So he's dealing with death row type shit. And it's always it's just this weird prison escape that happened because when they built this prison, they did this and this.
Yeah.
It was a Tango and Cash of literally used their belt and slid down a cable that came down outside the fence. So it was something like that. It was their radio tower.
Yeah.
They had it was a ladder on it, but obviously you have the cables to keep it from toppling over, and one of them would
over the
anchored
fence,
outside of the fence, and they just climbed up it and here we go.
That's funny. Oh yeah,
and you got to know that somebody's mentioned that there's some guard in a tower going, man, that's not right, and it's I fucking told him this was gonna happen.
I knew it was gonna happen.
I love that weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
What else you get?
I mean, I know
we still got time to go.
I mean,
I just feel like we probably need to get away from talking about weird shit that happened. I tell you what book I'm listening to. You probably don't care though.
Well, I mean,
not about murderers.
That I don't care. We did see that starting today that the college athletes can use their name and likeness, be money.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the NCAA kind of washed their hands of it and just said, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys take care of it. Like, by doing what you did, like, the problem I have with the NCAA, besides the fact that they're just terrible
at their jobs.
But even with this, of like, they've been so successful at doing what they're doing, what they've done, like kind of just pushing athletes. Hey, amateur. That's just always been their defense.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, this 2 years ago when these things started getting passed.
Yeah.
And you didn't have a plan in place.
No.
Like, there was no thought in your mind that this would ever happen, that, hey, we're just going to go in and say, hey, they're amateurs, and this says in our bylaws they can't make money. And they never had a plan.
They're so stuck in their fucking ways that they're just like, oh, that'll never happen. Times fucking change, guys. I mean, Jesus.
And you see that when that came out of the Supreme Court with basically that guy writing of like, hey, this is just kind of let you know next time an NCAA case hits this way that this shit ain't standing anymore.
Well, and
it's one of those things, too, of like, as it gets in there, of like, hey, you're the director of the NCAA making money off of this.
Yeah.
And you're doing this. You made like $3 million last year.
Uh-huh.
Like if it was a guy doing that, so if the head of the NCAA was making $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
And like everybody's just making like regular money.
Yeah.
Would it be that big, if they're dumping money back into the programs?
No.
But it's like, hey, you got like 10 people here that are making well into the 6 figures and a couple in the 7 figures. And we're talking about you're still having rules that you can't have cream cheese for a bagel.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? I mean.
Oh, I mean, you knew something was going to happen because of the progression of like the D League or G League or whatever they call it now, when they're offering kids that are right out of high school money to go play basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most of us are just talking about basketball because you have to.
Right.
You don't usually go from high school to the NFL. That's very
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because
body.
Hey, you're a big kid. You look like you could go right to the NFL. Nope, you're going to get murdered. You're going to be out of the league by the time you're 19.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just.
I mean, but I think you knew something was coming because of them starting to offer money to come play in the G League or whatever they call it now. But it made sense. This all makes sense to me because of the amount of money that goes into the NCAA. I mean, they just kill it. Rightfully so. I mean, people want to watch that shit. It's sports. People love sports. I mean, but the fact that the matter, like it took this long for them to get reimbursed for that, I don't know. It should have happened a while ago, in my opinion. I have a problem with a player getting a paycheck for whatever. I have no problem with somebody making money off of their stuff.
Yeah,
that they do. That they've earned that right to make money off their name.
Yeah,
I mean,
because you are.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
I don't know why it took this long. I mean, do they give Reggie Bush back his Heisman?
Yeah, I seen that was a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
They won't.
No, they won't.
That's such a weird thing of give us a trophy back.
Yeah.
So you're telling me because his parents were staying in a house that he wasn't the best player that year? Because I watched it happen.
No, he was.
He was phenomenal.
He was the best player that year. Yeah, by far.
I mean, that's just I hate that shit of like, well, take
your trophy back.
It's like Louisville. Take the banner down. So we're going to act like they didn't win the national championship because they sure did. I watched it happen.
Yeah, me too. Makes no sense.
I mean, all because some guy that makes $22,000 a year threw a $50,000 stripper party out of his own pocket?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't seem fair.
No, it's not fair.
That's still my favorite. Well, this guy did it. He paid for it out of his pocket. We didn't have any money in it. It's like double the amount he makes in a year.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is being truthful, but
whatever.
Okay, that works for us.
He took the blame. Yeah, I just felt like it was weird. Now, I'm not shocked that it took this long.
No.
But it was like, this should have happened just a while. I mean, I could not imagine some of the players we've seen come through college basketball, how much money they would have made off of their name.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't heard the details. Is there a cap? Is there not a cap? I mean, we haven't heard a whole lot of that, but imagine Zion coming in. I mean, that's really the latest of the big stars that we saw in college basketball. Imagine him coming in and making money off his name. I mean, he would have set the tone of what the cap is right along.
Yeah. What? That's the weird thing, too, because I seen people talking about that of like, what if one of these guys signs with Under Armour, but they're at a Nike school?
Mhm.
Like, you wear Nike when you play.
Yeah.
Because it's no different than any other fucking league.
No.
A lot of Adidas guys and,
Yeah.
in the NFL, all those jerseys say Nike. There ain't no getting around that.
No, J.J. Watt's Reebok, and he has to wear all the Nike stuff.
So I don't even, I didn't understand. Like, there was an argument going on Twitter. It was like, it doesn't make any sense because it happens already.
Yeah.
But the one that's interesting, though, is, like Ohio State already has like the biggest Nike deal.
Uh-huh.
Like, do those just get bigger?
Yeah.
Like with Alabama and Ohio State of like, hey, we want these kids at Nike because when they get to the next level, we want them to be Nike.
Nike, yeah. Yeah.
But that's a weird thing. Like, a lot of people going, well, all these kids are just going to be making so much money. Not really.
No.
Like, take this last year.
Mm-hmm.
College football. Now we're talking money. Now, whatever they're doing to, if boosters are just going to give money for this, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about actually getting sponsorships and making money. It's like 2 people.
Yeah.
It was Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
maybe you could have see Devontae Smith taking a smaller one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not till the second half of the season, though.
Yeah.
But it's like there's not as many stars in college football as you think there are. There's stars in the NFL that don't get the shit. I mean, because it's just the difference between being a star player and being a star.
Yeah. There's a huge difference.
Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields were stars in college football.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's just. And the other one is like when the one people were pointing out of like, I think people they think about basketball and football.
Mm-hmm.
And they fail to think about that probably the people who are going to make the most are going to be the female athletes.
Yeah.
Because that's the way Instagram works.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you play college basketball for whatever thing. And oh my God, she's got 1.4 million followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to put out 2 posts and make 6 figures. I mean, that's how the internet works.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's everybody's wanting to shit on one side. It's like, well, if you want to take it away from the football players, you're going to take it away from the female sports too. And their chances are going to make the most money because that's the internet.
That's the internet for sure. For sure.
Be interesting though. See how it goes.
Yeah, I want to see how it goes. I want to see the finer details coming up. I know they can start today, but what happens when who's a star coming back in the college football?
I don't know that there is one.
I don't either.
Because all the big quarterbacks went out, and that there wasn't.
Yeah,
you got that kid from Clemson, but you can't pronounce his name. Nobody, nobody's going to know Ohio State's quarterback. You don't know who Alabama's quarterback is. All Alabama's top flight first rounders all left. So there's not.
I'm whatever sport it is. I'm just interested to see that first person take off,
right,
and see if they reel him back in or her back in.
Yeah,
I want to see how they handle somebody actually getting, famous or whatever you want to call it. With the amount, I just go back to when Ohio State was decent in basketball and they had whatever the bench warmer's name when he started at Club Trillion.
Oh yeah, that was huge. And before social media was social media, it was huge. Yeah.
Mark Titus?
He
would have got something and he didn't even play.
He did get something.
I know he got,
because he was a walk-on.
Yes.
He didn't have a scholarship, so he didn't.
Yeah.
Those rules didn't matter to him.
I mean, imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Like something that takes off like that.
He sold so many of those Club Trillion t-shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, so many.
Ton.
And you start looking into like comedians and podcasts and stuff like that, the merch sales, and you start to get a little understanding about what people are making off of t-shirts.
Yeah, because it costs, $3 to buy a t-shirt?
Even if it's $5, they all minimum are $20.
Exactly.
Back in the 90s, a t-shirt at a WWE event or a concert is $20.
Yeah.
So you're making $15.
Yeah.
And there's times in St. John Arena where that whole, it would have been Value City at that
Value
point.
City, yeah.
I'm like, feels like there's sections of Club Trillion shirts out here.
Just nuts. And that's the first person that came to my mind, somebody who doesn't play,
right?
But they know who he is. I guess you know what I'm saying? Like something like that to take off and just I want to watch the NCAA. There's like,
because that's the interesting thing too. Now, I mean, this goes totally out the window if boosters are just giving you, hey, you're the face of our dealership here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's something. But the big money that would come to a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, something like that, might be one or two of those.
Yeah,
but the rest of them, you're not going to make much money because if you're not getting big deal, big superstar people, you gotta make money on the internet.
Yep.
And if you're not interesting or you don't have,
yeah,
how are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's a big place.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, that's a weird thing too. Of like, hey, you need to make money on the internet, but then you're playing, and your football coach is like, hey, I don't want to see a bunch of shit on the internet. Like, we're here to work.
Yeah,
like,
you bring up a good point. Like that's going to be something to take in consideration too. I mean, you're going to have to. You have rules in place now of.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody already had rules in place of what to put on social media and what not to put on social media, but
NFL does it.
No, yeah,
so
exactly.
they can't say, well, they're treating us like this. No, they're treating you like professional athletes up there because you say shit online. That PR guy's coming right to your locker, and you're going upstairs to talk with hey, what the fuck, man?
Yep. Pretty much.
It'd be interesting to see how long it takes. Because I don't even know, Ohio, I don't even know what the rules are, what they sign in place, because each state that has passed the law I'm not going to read through that law to see what they can and can't do, because everybody's like, well, now they're just going to hire agents and sign with Nike. I don't even know if that's possible. I don't know, because it abides by the state law. If they're just saying name, image, likeness, and they put a cap on it on your state, then that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Or if they say, hey, you can have a YouTube channel and you can make money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's fine, but not everybody's going to, because I'm going to tell you one thing. You have to be pretty interesting for people to watch your YouTube video.
For sure.
They're not just going to do it because you happen to be a wide receiver at some school.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have to.
You have to have something.
Some sort of hook. That's. Yeah.
And like, the big thing right now, we talked about that, or like the reaction videos and stuff like that. Well, if you're a well-known person at a big thing and you start making money on that, those you can't just rip people's shit and put it on there. And that's why I hear all these reactions be like, oh, a video got taken down. They're trying to take my money. It's like, you're watching you're making money off somebody else's shit and you're just laughing at it. So what'd you think?
Yeah, what they were going to do.
Well, I can't believe they made me take it down. It's like, yeah, you don't own that song.
Yeah.
That person wrote it.
Yeah. It'll just be interesting just to see the process of all that shit.
Yeah, I want to see somebody just like, well, you're a wide receiver at such and such and he's making $35,000 a month.
Yeah. Like, ooh, we're going to have to, crazy.
I don't think it's going to change much of anything. I think people's fear of it is so much. Now, I mean, there's going to be some people that make some money.
Yeah.
But the bulk of people just aren't.
No.
Like we said, there's guys on the Pro Bowl every single year in the NFL
that don't have deals.
That don't get a dime from anybody.
Nope.
And they're massively known people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
That they just think that some college, hey, we get this 19-year-old, I'm going to give him $500,000 to be the face. Hey, you realize like all these college athletes, it always comes out that they tweeted something like shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you think a brand's going to throw money at them just so the masses, when this kid says something stupid, because he's an 18 or a 19-year-old kid and that's what we do?
Yeah.
We just spent a long time talking about all the fights and shit. Do you think like a Procter & Gamble's going to throw them money to, for some soap? And then have a bunch of people going, well, this guy said this, and this. And we're going to boycott you now. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, they're not going to do that. So, which that never made sense to me anyways.
No.
This person said something bad. We're going to boycott you. Like, what the fuck did I do with it? I thought we were...
Yeah. It's that and like those one-hit wonders that come in, you know what I'm saying? Like the one and dones and stuff like that. If you're an agency or anything like that and you know that college basketball player is a one and done, are you even going to waste your money? Or are you Nike and you're like, I'm going to be here first? You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, the one and done guy with basketball, that's where it gets,
Mm-hmm.
you know, of like, hey, there's a massive Ford dealership in Columbus, Ohio, and there's the number 1 NBA pick, but he's got to come. Hey, man, we'll give you $1 million to be the face of this.
Mm-hmm.
Come to Ohio State for a year.
Yeah.
That's where, you know, people are like, well, the Richard it's going to be a separation. There's already a separation.
Yeah.
All the really good schools are going to continue to be really good.
Yeah, that's not.
The only thing it happens to be is like, now this goes back to football when you go like the Oklahoma States and stuff like that, of like that T. Boone Pickens and stuff like that. Yeah, that guy's worth billions of dollars, and he's paid out of his pocket to build them a stadium and build of like, well, maybe they get involved. And he goes, yeah, here's $10 million. Let's get some athletes.
Yeah.
Well, now all of a sudden Oklahoma State's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Maybe they buy some defensive players.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Score 50 points, but we always give up 52.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting and just see how the NCAA handles some stuff once it all gets started.
I hope that the first story that breaks is a kid coming out of high school signs with a school, signs full ride scholarship, and then it breaks out that signed with this school because got $100,000 contract to be, and people go up in arms about it. And the overreaction happens, but then an hour later it breaks. It was like, it was a tennis scholarship.
Yeah.
And then everybody peels back. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You pay a tennis player $100,000, go to that school. Who gives a shit? It only affects like 2 sports.
Yep.
If it, like right now, College World Series going on. Ain't nobody give a shit if they're playing one of those college baseball players come to that school. There's only like 4 of them that are any good anyways.
Yeah. That'll be, I'm just excited to see how it goes.
I wonder how long it's going to be before somebody. I would, after yesterday, could you imagine being a compliance officer at a college?
Nope.
Going, fucking what now?
Yeah.
Like we're usually in contact of what we're like. I have a guideline of rules that you guys give me. And then you just went and said, hey, it's on you now.
Yep. Shit.
What?
Yeah. Shit.
And I think the Ohio law just came in like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't read it, but who knows what's in it?
Exactly.
I'm sure if they put it together fast enough, I'm sure there's a massive loophole in there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Somebody's going to find.
I
always wondered that. What happens? I'm sure maybe it's okay. Okay, so you're 19 years old or whatever, and you're at whatever school. Just say Ohio State because we live in Ohio.
Okay.
And you're a big-time athlete.
Thanks.
And if you bought a lottery ticket and won, what fucking happens there?
Yeah. What?
Hey, I just won $30 million. Well, now you can't play sports anymore. Why?
Why?
Well, you made this money.
Yeah.
I bought a $1 ticket at which is legal. I'm of legal age to do, and it's state ran.
Yeah. That's crazy. I never thought
wonder
about
what
something like that.
happens
Yeah.
there.
Never thought about it like that either. That's crazy to think about.
Because it's always like that. Like if you, there's certain things like you play in a scramble or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're a college athlete and you hit a hole in one, like I don't know that you can take the prize.
Nope, I don't think you can.
Over a certain, it's up to like I think it was like a set of golf clubs. Like this kind of where they maxed out like $2,000 or $3,500. Like, what if I played in a big outing and just won like $50,000 on a hole in one?
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to take it.
Nope.
Now you lose your eligibility.
Yeah,
that's winning the lottery. I mean,
yeah, weird.
It's still my favorite line. It goes back to I think did I mention that last week or whatever? That movie's like the NCAA assholes won't let us have jobs.
Yeah. Alvin Mack. You know what? We talked about all the old Steven Seagal movies.
Yeah.
And Under Siege is on Netflix. So
Did
I watched
you watch it?
Yeah, I love that movie. Alvin Mack's in it.
Is he?
Yeah.
I assume he gets killed.
No. I mean, he might.
He's one of the cooks, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of like keeping everybody safe.
Yeah.
And then like he comes out with a gun that he clearly doesn't know how to use.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, is that
being
Alvin
a
Mack?
kid when that girl rolls out and that and comes out and then dumps those tits out to the world going like, hey, that's awesome.
Yep. Beautiful.
It's pre-internet.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
It's like trying to jerk off when you had dial-up internet.
Yeah.
To wait for 15 minutes for this picture to load.
Yeah.
God damn, if it's a video, it ain't ever happening.
Never. What are you doing back there? Nothing. Trying to get a game to load.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Going back to where we grew up and went to school. Obviously, I always lived in town. We always had cable,
Yeah.
Back in my day, cable had like 30 channels, and it was like a big deal if you had ESPN.
Yeah.
Now it's just part of, like, you can't get cable and not have it. Like
ESPN.
But it was a big deal to have ESPN on your cable package. It's like fucking 35 channels, maybe. But then, like, at what age you realize when you're talking to your buddies that, like, live in the country.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some country-ass places out where we're from. And learning that, like, oh, shit, they don't have TV. They have, like, 3 channels.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, there is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even have an option.
Nope.
And then it was that, then Watch TV or whatever came out. And that, that was before DirecTV even existed. I'm like, I never even thought it. Like, you guys have jack shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about a TV show that we watched. You have no clue what that is.
It is wild. We didn't get high speed internet until I was like, I guess 7th or 8th. So 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
Everything else, we couldn't get it where we lived. It didn't, you couldn't get anything. We've tried, and like all those, like, whatever you want to call it, all those internets that come out and said we can reach anywhere because of the satellite and stuff like that. Like, they come out,
it's bullshit.
They come out and they're like, yeah, no, sorry, I can't get it. It's like, yeah, we know. But you said you could.
Yeah. We'll get you this much speed off this satellite. You're lying.
Yep. You're totally lying because
it won't work.
It won't work at all.
I was trying to think of that. Like when I moved out, the first couple places that I lived didn't have internet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure until I bought my house that I had internet.
Yeah.
Or cable.
Because
it was just
place to
I
go.
didn't have it.
Yeah.
Like I'd maybe watch a movie or something like that. Of like when I moved over to that other golf course, obviously, that's like 2007.
Yeah.
I think is when I moved. I went a good 6 months before I even had cable. Because it's just, figure something else to do.
Yeah.
And now I have pay for cable that I don't watch. Just throwing money down.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing the trash.
Throwing it out.
Oh, we did talk about Loki a little bit.
Yeah.
Just keep people
They brought it back
in
around.
the loop. They brought it back around. This episode was pretty good.
Yeah. I got
good.
caught
Last
up.
episode
and,
fucking sucked.
Yep.
This episode pretty good.
Episode 3 was pointless until the last 5 minutes of the episode, and then this one.
Like even that, you could totally make it by without seeing that. That line that we talked about.
Yeah.
Like it's a bad thing when you come out and say, I can give the recommendation that you don't need to watch that episode.
No, yeah, exactly. Because you'll figure it out the next episode.
Because the next episode, you just watch like the lead into it and it tells you what happened the last episode. You're good.
Yeah. Did you watch the credit scene of this episode?
Yeah.
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 Wild.
Yeah. Like the old school guy. I'm like,
yeah.
Man, that sucks of what they thought looked cool back in comic book,
Yeah.
I wanted to say comic book days, but they still exist.
Yeah.
That was always a weird thing, too. Obviously, not, I wouldn't even have, when I was younger, I couldn't even have told you where to get a comic book.
Yeah, me either.
That just wasn't even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But to even think about, like, how excited people were back, 50s, 60s, like when all this shit was like Iron Man and all that stuff, when they were first, and they were massive deals. Of like,
the new comic
I don't know
book
if they came out once a month. I don't know what that was.
Like
Oh my God.
Like a Sports Illustrated kind of thing where you got a monthly
Playboy kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Sports Illustrated.
What celebrity titties are we seeing this week? She sucks.
Yep. Damn it.
She just wearing see-through stuff. She didn't even get them out. You paid her how much, Hugh?
Yeah. Come on. It's not tasteful.
But I can imagine, like that was the thing of like people waiting at the comic book store for hey, we got them. That's, it's weird to even think about because like fucking magazines don't exist.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, well, I read in the paper of like, what?
What did you just say?
Well, I read this story. Did you see that in the paper today? I was like, no, I read it on the internet 4 days ago when it actually fucking happened.
Oh, yeah. Old people in their newspapers and stuff.
That is such a weird thing. Obviously, the place I used to work, and that's all they all sit in there, drink coffee, and read the newspaper in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing?
And they don't ever fucking throw it away. They just leave it there like the next person who comes in to sit down, like they're going to pick it up and read it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the one time I was working in the pro shop the one day, and guy comes in, starts down reading the paper. He goes, I think I already read this. I said, it's from 2 days ago. He goes, oh, okay, I already did read it. I was like, he goes, where's the new one? I said, Sunday. I don't think that there's a paper on Sunday. Goes,
I think there is. There should be.
Okay.
I think it's their big one.
Oh, is it?
Has all the extra bullshit that you have to throw away.
I was like, I haven't seen it. He's like, oh, okay. Well, if you do see it, let me know. I was like, no, because I'm going to be gone. Hopefully.
That was the one that, obviously in the wintertime when basketball's going on, because that's all they want to talk about out there.
Yeah.
High school basketball. Specific high school basketball. Yeah. But they're all like, well, who won that game? Who won that? And there's one person with the newspaper peeling through the pages going, I'm looking around. I'm like, there's 7 phones in here. There's actually a pretty nice website from this town.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job.
All of that shit.
Yep.
Like you just hit a button and it'll tell you.
It's just there. Nope.
Let me peel through. I can't find it. It was too late. They didn't get the scoring in on time. I don't know. Do you know who won?
Do you know who won? Yeah. So
what's
weird.
the box score?
Cares?
Who gives a shit? You don't know that person.
Yeah.
Well, so-and-so had 12 points.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you who the best player in the area is.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're 100% correct.
I was like, man, I'm not to shit on like Division III or NAIA type stuff. But when people get like super excited, now I understand if it's you or your kid, that's an exciting thing to be able to go to the next level and play sports.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about people like
they don't even know
that are excited that don't even know them. You don't even know their family.
Yep.
Hey, did you hear that so-and-so is going to play basketball at this Division III school that you've never heard of?
Yeah. Nope.
No.
I didn't.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why are you excited?
Yeah.
You friends with his dad?
Nope.
No, I've never met him.
Never met him. Weird.
Are you just stalking this kid? What the fuck?
It's a weird thing.
He's averaging 13 points in a league that is not good.
It's a weird
going
thing.
To that next level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
No, I think it's the same
level. He can't play at this level.
Oh, fuck.
I feel like we should get closer to ending this, or I'm going to start. I'm getting in that. I could feel that flow start coming, where I'm going to start shitting on everything.
I'm good.
You just want me to start shitting? Are you good, or be done?
No, I don't care.
No.
We can be done if you don't want to shit on people.
No, I'll shit on people all day, but I'll need a topic to start.
It's okay.
And I'll just go.
We'll just end it then.
Oh, that was one thing I will tell you about this. It was obviously you're gonna laugh because it was talking about the book that I read.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I like history. This ties back into the DC thing of it's a Malcolm Gladwell book, which I like Malcolm Gladwell, and it's an older book called Tipping Point, which is a very popular book that he wrote. And it's talks about sales trends when something, podcast trends when something gets to a point and then it flips and then it just spreads like wildfire. And they were talking about the revolution and stuff with Paul Revere.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about, and we all know someone like that, but Paul Revere, like maybe it was talking about how big is your group of, not friends, but like acquaintances, just people you know. And we all know somebody like that because Paul Revere was a guy that just fucking knew everybody. Like he wasn't friends with any of them, but he knew everybody.
Yeah.
He was a member of this and a member of that, of like had no, I'm sure obviously he had friends, but it was like he just knew everybody. Said if there was however many other writers that went out to tell that, but his is the only one that really caught fire. Because he had so many acquaintances, every little bullshit town that he stopped in, he fucking knew somebody with, of like, hey, one time 6 years ago, we had a beer together. So he went to that guy's house and knocked on his door, and he's like, oh, I remember you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let me grab my musket.
Yeah.
And then like the other people, it was like they went and told a bunch of people, and like nobody fucking showed up. It's like, who the fuck are you? A British are coming. What?
I don't know you.
But that's just like a weird thing of like, huh. So he was like the first car salesman that just fucking knows everybody. I just thought that was my, as soon as they talked about it, I'm like, that's what salespeople are. They just kind of know somebody in every town.
Yep. That's funny.
Thought that was interesting.
When you oversimplify it, it just makes it even better too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, heck, I just knew a bunch of people
and asked them to come fight.
The other people knew people in this town, but they asked them to go to another town. They didn't do jack shit.
Nah, fuck
people
that town.
Jerking their dicks. He said Minutemen. I thought he meant to come faster. You need us to be ready in a minute to fight that big army.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I'll be out in a minute.
Can't be a Minuteman. It takes longer to load the fucking rifle than a minute.
Minutemen.
That is one of those things too. Of like, I can't. Obviously, you see the warfare, all the technology and shit.
Yeah.
Do you imagine that when they're in lines of like you shoot your shot because he's in lines?
Yeah.
Standing 20 yards away, like, well, it's your turn. You shoot at us.
You shoot at us.
And they start shooting and like you shoot and miss and go and like just talking to yourself. Get the powder and that motherfucker's got it now. And then I dropped the ball. Let me get another one. And in there, in like the 45 seconds, you're pumping. I'm gonna shoot that motherfucker. I know this thing comes out like a knuckleball, but I'm gonna fucking that guy's fucking dead. And shoot me. Fuck! I missed.
That would be some shit. I gotta reload again. Like nobody tried to duck or like hide behind anything. They stood there. That's cracks me up. Like when you watch like the Patriot and stuff like that, and it's like guys are like 5 yards from each other.
Just marched out in rows and fucking took turns shooting at each other.
They're loading their guns. God, I can't wait till like grenades are invented. This would be way easier.
That's why I think it's fucking hilarious because we're so far removed from World War I. But like obviously the start of that, like there hadn't been a war since this technology, it's still musket ball. So like the first battle, they fucking showed up in lines like that. And they had machine guns.
Mowed people down.
It was just like the first battle was like 80,000 people.
Nobody lived.
What the fuck?
Maybe we should back up, guys.
Hey, this isn't going to work.
Maybe we should hide behind something.
Son of a bitch has a cannon. Maybe we shouldn't walk so close to each other.
Oh, God.
And to think that was like, hey, this is a noble thing to do.
Yeah.
Let's go stand in a line and fucking shoot at each other.
Shit.
Look at that pussy. He's hiding behind a tree. And then he sticks his head out and shoots somebody. That's the thought process. How the fuck are we alive as a species?
God. Who knows? Who knows? When I'm out of lead balls and powder, I'm just going to charge you with this knife at the end of my gun. Hopefully it sticks and I get one person before I get killed.
How the hell did we hunt a tiger with this mentality? I'm going to stand here with this spear. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Be real quiet.
Well, then, like, hey, we can't sneak up if you're going to keep playing that fucking drum the whole time.
Shoot that guy. God, give him a rifle. He got a drum for.
That's always a weird thing, too, of like, there's people like, you're not allowed to shoot the drummer.
Yeah.
Or the guy that carries the flag.
Uh-huh.
And there's like a guy that plays like a flute. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can shoot that guy.
Maybe because it's a flute. I think anybody can play a flute. If anybody can play a drum.
Hey, man, we're here for the drums. We ain't here for that flute shit. But it's jazz flute. Yeah. I don't give a shit. And then, that's just like, anytime you talk about it, I think everybody thinks about the Patriot.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you guys are walking in. He's just running around with a fucking hatchet, hiding behind trees and throwing it, and he killed everybody.
Yeah.
There's 12 of you. There's just one of him.
Uh-huh.
He wouldn't like an asshole just standing out in the open going, well, I see him running over there, but we better stand here.
Yeah.
Hell, he keeps shooting you. Keeps shooting you.
Yeah. Just maybe move.
I think that might be where we should end it.
That's probably good.
I think I got to feel like the people are like,
what the fuck?
Feel like we made good points, though.
We made really good points.
Maybe don't stand in line and shoot at each other.
Yeah.
Imagine if gang violence was that way. Like in the 90s when the Bloods and the Crips were big. If they were just standing in line
across the street from each other. This is how we're going to do it.
Don't you hide.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, funny stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All righty. Whiteside.